hear a lot of people talk about meeting rhythms, and I wanted to spend just a few minutes today talking about why it's such an important thing to get right in your business. So a quick agenda. I'll do an introduction of who I am. We'll talk about what a meeting rhythm is, so we'll define what we're talking about, and then we'll get into the fun part. So the 4 reasons why your meetings aren't accelerating your business. So I'm Zack Greene. I have 8 years using the Gravitas coaching framework. I'm a certified Gravitas Impact Coach. I have 8 years of public accounting experience, and I'm a licensed CPA and member of the AICPA and the MACPA. So I always start out with the why we're talking about meeting rhythms. So businesses need to establish meeting rhythms in order to create more strategic, efficient, and effective meetings with their teams. So what's a meeting rhythm? So think about meeting rhythms as a cadence of meetings. They happen at a similar day, at a similar time, all the time, and your team expects that they happen. So at my CPA firm, our executive team meets every Wednesday at the same time, every week. We also have daily huddles at the same time every morning, every day. So your team gets to expect that these things will happen, and it's just a part of your business DNA. So they're regularly scheduled. They happen at the same time, the same day, for the same amount of time, and they always have a purpose. So the 4 reasons why your meetings don't accelerate your business. This is the interesting part. So the first one, I sometimes still hear, but haven't heard it as much. And the first one talks about meetings that have stopped happening. Many people, many businesses stopped having meetings because of the pandemic, because they didn't have their team in the office. Well, we need to get past that, and we need to figure out how we can have the same meeting with the same result, but have it virtually. Most of you have hopefully gotten past this, but let's make sure we haven't stopped some of the meetings that were happening when we were all in the office. So the second reason why our meetings aren't accelerating our businesses is they're not formalized. So we want to make sure that every meeting has a purpose. So for an example, the purpose of this meeting is to update our leadership team on what our quarterly goals are and where we stand with them. Okay? Every meeting should have ground rules. So what are our rules for engaging in this meeting? For an example, no bench sitters. We want everyone engaged. Another example, no cell phones out. I love that one because we get so distracted with our cell phones, but we need to make sure that we define the ground rules for the meeting. The next one is go through the agenda. What are we looking to accomplish during this meeting? So what that might look like is, in this meeting, we're going to go over our quarterly goals. We're going to talk about what's getting in our way of accomplishing them. And then we're going to talk about, over the next week, what is going to bring us one step closer to accomplishing those goals. And by getting everyone's agreement on the agenda, it makes the use of a parking lot so much more beneficial. The parking lot is probably the most underutilized tool that a facilitator in a meeting has. And it's because we don't use it to set things aside in the meeting. We tend to go off topic. We go outside of the agenda that we agreed on, and we start going down rabbit holes. Use the parking lot. Stop the conversation. Make sure everyone's in agreement that we've gone outside of the agenda, and recommend that you parking lot that idea and agree on when to come back to it, but not in this meeting. Okay. Clear roles. So what is the role of each person in the meeting? Every meeting should be clear who's running the meeting, who's going to be taking the notes, who's going to be noting what the action items are. And I always tell people, if they're not clear on why they're in a meeting, just ask. Ask someone, why am I in this meeting? What's the purpose of me having a seat in this meeting? I love that question because it gives everyone clarity on why they're there. And the last one, action items. So every meeting should have action that we're taking from having the meeting. Otherwise, why are we even spending the time in the meeting? So let's make sure that we end the meeting with, okay, what have we agreed on? Who's going to do what by when? And then agree on who's going to follow up on those action items. The third reason why our meetings aren't accelerating our business is the meetings aren't planned. And so this gets back to that cadence. Our meetings should happen at the same time every year, every quarter, every month, every week, every day. And so this being the beginning of the year, we should be doing our annual planning with our leadership team. The annual planning will then inform what we focus on in our quarterly meetings, in our weekly meetings, in our monthly meetings, and daily meetings. And the last reason why our meetings aren't accelerating our business, I love this one. I watched a video by Donald Miller. He goes through videos, daily videos for leaders of businesses called, and the videos are called Business Made Simple Daily. And the video that I watched that I have up on the screen here, he talked about what the most important job of the leader is. And he says, the most important thing is to remind our team of what the vision is of the business. What are we trying to accomplish? So start your meetings with what your vision is for the business. In the coaching framework that I use, we use the term that Jim Collins defined in the book Good to Great as a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. This is our North Star. This is what we're trying to accomplish as a business. So in our meetings with our leadership teams, let's make sure that we remember to remind them of what that is. You can't remind people, you can't remind them too much. So always start the meeting with, this is our big, hairy, audacious goal as a business. One other part that I wanted to highlight in this framework that I have up on the screen, which is again what we use with our coaching clients, is amongst the strategy and the execution that we agree on, the only way to make those things happen is through our meeting rhythms, our annual planning, which we're doing now, broken down into quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily meetings. So it's so critical that we get these meetings down, we have them, and our ability to execute on the plan is significantly improved when we get these meeting rhythms down. So my name's again Zack Greene. If you have any questions or would like to talk with me about coaching or any other questions related to these meeting rhythms, I'd love to talk with you. My phone number's up on the screen and my email's up there as well.